We don't yet have any information about the motive of the shooter. We know who he is. I urge everyone, please, don't make assumptions about his motives or his affiliations. Let the FBI do their job and their partner agencies do their job.
I don't know, man. I don't believe nothing that Biden says, bro. I don't know. Like, he can tell me the sky blue and I automatically start going, you know what? Maybe I had life wrong. Like, seriously, because I that's how much I don't believe him. I believe nothing this man says, and I don't think that anybody out here should. If I'm being honest, you should tread very, very lightly, because you know they're saying that he possibly was in on it. We don't have any concrete proof or facts to back that claim up, so no way, shape, or form am I saying that this is objective. All of it is speculation right now. I don't want anybody to take anything as concrete, but yeah, in my opinion, you know, he could have been in on that thing. Conspiracy charges need to be brought against the entire administration and every member of, that Secret Service that was there that day, in my opinion. Because, you know, we all know the reason why all of these attacks are headed towards President Donald Trump. We all know why, you know, but he couldn't beat him in the polls, so you see how he's trying to take him out this way. Talking about some Biden, that is, we resolve our differences in the battle box.
But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets.
You know what, Biden? That I told you I don't believe nothing you say, you know, like at all. And let me show you why. Y'all are responsible for what took place on July 13, 2024. That day will go down in history because of you guys. But y'all been, how do I say, y'all been inciting and rattling this idea for this to happen for a long time. Y'all been calling for violence for a long time. And I don't see no accountability being had for the Democrats who did this. But a lot of had have been a Republican. A lot of had have been a conservative. I mean, you got Nancy Pelosi. We're going to start this thing off in 2018.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
I said if we were in high school, I'd take you behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch. I want to tell you, Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump. And that's a fact.
I'm going to punch him out. This is what I know I would pay with you. I'm waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds. I'm going to punch him out, and I'm going to go to jail, and I'm going to be happy.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
I will go and take Trump out tonight. Take him out now. Okay.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
Please, get up in the face of some Congress people.
This is just a warning to you Trumpers. Be careful. Walk lightly. And for those of you who are soldiers, make them pay.
Are dressed to look just like President Donald Trump as he's assassinated on stage. Look as his character is stabbed to death. And there's no mistaking the Trump connection.
I know Jay proud of me. He put this around my neck. And I might just kill ISIS with the same ice pick that I murdered Donald Trump in the same night with.
Missouri State Senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I'm at the point where I want to burn the White House down.
We got to rip Trump out of that office right over there. Pull him out that Nah, we ain't about waiting until the next election. We about to go get that
People need to start taking to the streets.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives. And unfortunately, there's plenty to go around.
And Biden want to talk about, let's not make assumptions. Really? Because given the information that we have, you know, history, it's known to repeat itself. And usually a person will reveal to you who they are by their actions and not by the words that they try to convince you by. And my God, your actions, it don't add up at all. It's actually quite suspicious, and we are definitely looking at you like, all right, Joe. But Dan Bongino actually spoke on this, and I would love to get his. I would love for y'all to listen to his perspective. Dan Bongino is somebody whom has educated me, you know, for the last year or so before I ended up getting demonetized. So he's somebody that I actually look up to in this space, and whom is a former Secret Service agent who can provide real insight from experience as to what took place on that day.
Your thoughts on this, Dan? Just continue where you left off on the reaction here.
So again, open security questions right now, and this is why, again, I think the Secret Service, the PR, Anthony Guglielmi, has to be very careful about what they put out. You know, he says in his X post, and you can read it yourself. You don't need to hear it from me, that they deployed these extra resources and technology. Okay, well, which ones? You're telling me the best technology you have was deployed, and you missed a shooter 130 yards, say it was 200 yards. The Secret Service CS team, Pete, the counter sniper teams, and I'm not sure those two guys are Secret Service. We have to remember that we don't always, when we go to New York sometimes with high-level protectees, we'll use NYPD ESU counter sniper. So I'm not really sure either way, they'd still be briefed in. The question we have to ask is, if that's the best technology we have, and we had a CS team up there with a shooter that, you know, we're trained out to 1,000 yards in the Secret Service with the counter sniper team, how did they miss someone at most, you know, 1/5 of the way there? It doesn't make any sense. And even worse, it's broad daylight on a white roof. So again, open questions here. Was there forward-looking infrared deployed? Was there aerial support, drones, helicopters? You know, something happened too. If you go back and listen to the audio, I want you to listen to this after I get off here. When Donald Trump, after this tragic thing happens, you'll see the Secret Service agents. And by the way, I know some of those guys personally. It takes a lot to run into bullets, divorcing the security failure. So at least they did that part, you know, correctly, and they knew what they were doing after the security absolutely failed. But you're going to hear something if you listen closely. The guy mentions Hawkeye on the scene. He's talking about those two, the black BDU with the tactical gear CAT element, that two-man CAT element. That stands for Counter Assault Team. That's a Secret Service Special Weapons Team, equivalent to our SWAT. So they're there. They all deployed and did what had to be. That the bunting around the front of the stage is probably armor. Donald Trump knew to duck. I mean, most people would. He saved his own life. That's just a fact. The evacuation did not go right. I mean, the rule with the Secret Service is cover the protectee and evacuate. The other rule is maximum to the protectee, minimum to the problem. Why minimum to the problem? Because you don't know that's the only problem. It could be a distraction. There could be another person in the crowd. So if you don't jump on the protectee, you could be looking at multiple shooters. So at least that part, the guys there, you know, stepped up there. But the failure here is absolutely catastrophic. And I got to tell you, the Secret Service should be very careful. I can tell you and absolutely confirm from the horse's mouth, from multiple people, not just one. And I saw Congressman Waltz text this out before on X. There have been repeated requests to increase the security footprint around not just the residences of Donald Trump, but the body itself. And they have been rebuffed. Like I said, I can tell you actual quotes. The Secret Service directors completely failed and candidly should resign today. Kim Cheadle has failed Donald Trump and honestly failed Joe Biden too. He's the president right now. Where's the DHS secretary? I mean, this is, you're blaming it on manpower? So just to be clear, we're a $4 trillion United States government and we can't fork over enough money to keep our people alive? And then
that just don't make any sense whatsoever. And like I was telling y'all in the previous video, definitely everybody that's in the Secret Service who was running that day should be investigated, simply because what was allowed to happen with the information that they had prior. We know that they had at least 2 minutes of being aware of this sniper being there, knowing he's there without doing anything before he decided to take shots. So that right there is reasonable suspicion for me to go, everybody in here needs to be investigated. And this is why I love to hear Dan Bongino's perspective on, things like this, because he's somebody who was actually there. He's somebody who protected the president. He was there with Obama. I know for a fact. I don't know if he was there prior or nothing like that. But yeah, man, he's somebody who has real insight to it and knowledge on how all of these events are supposed to be run down. Well, in case of an event like this, how they're supposed to respond. So let's continue.
We're sending out tweets like, oh, this is the best technology we have. Really? To let a sniper 150 yards away from the potential next president shoot a piece of his ear off? Pfft, that's your victory lap? Give me a break, man.
Dan, I mean, you bring up so many amazing points, and I just don't even know where to begin except to ask you, why would the Secret Service not beef up more security for the man who is most likely to be assassinated?
Because he's a threat to. Okay, I'll shut up.
Entire world. Why would they not deploy more resources? Why weren't there drones over? Is it that this woman, Kimberly Cheadle, the director, is incompetent? Could there be something else there? What is happening? Is it DEI? What's going on?
Well, Rachel, it's my job, if I'm going to give an opinion, to back it up. Opinions are like holes, right? Everybody has one. The difference between one opinion over the other in a courtroom and anywhere else is, can you back it up? I want everyone at home, go on your phone or computer now, and I want you to look up U.S. Secret Service, red ties, Donald Trump. Yeah, read it. The Secret Service was more concerned about protective agents around Donald Trump. If you think I'm making this up, go to a left-wing search engine if you think I'm biased. Go to Scroogle and put it, oh, you're reading a story right now. They were more concerned about the color of the Secret Service agents' ties around Donald Trump, given the perception that a red tie was somehow. I've got red ties. I'm a Republican. It has nothing to do with it. I just like red ties. They go nice with white shirts. That's an actual. Oh, you see it right now. I'm not crazy. This is what the Secret Service was concerned about. They put out 1,000 tweets about all of this DEI stuff. Do I know that's related here? I don't. I'm just saying, you have one job and only one job. Your job is keep the body alive no matter what. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Jill Biden, the president of Djibouti, it doesn't matter. That is your job. They absolutely, resolutely.
For the record,
100.
I don't know if Djibouti is a real place. I'm assuming it's not. If it is,
percent failed. Not a single excuse should be made. Not a single excuse should be attempted. This should be the subject of congressional hearings and investigations, because if they can't do this, and this is the best technology you had, then folks, there's no purpose anymore. This isn't the agency I grew up in. It's not. I spent 12 years of my life there, and I'm telling you, I know some of those guys personally. These are good men and women. But this was an apocalyptic security failure. And don't ever forget, an uneventful failure is never a success. And the fact that Donald Trump didn't die yesterday is no reason for anybody to take some kind of victory lap. And before we start sending out plaudits, we better look and do a hot wash on this and find out exactly how abysmal this security plan was.
Well, uniquely, because you also have unique experience, uniquely, you've been able to tell us today that the failure is on both the ground level and the immediate reaction, the advanced level, and seeing what could potentially be the problem, and at the organizational level in what kind of resources were given to Donald Trump over time. And as we said, you have the experience to know. Dan Bongino, thanks so much for.
Another thing that, I sit back and wonder is, how was the people in the crowd communicating with the police, but nobody communicated with the Secret Service? Now, I don't know that to be a fact. I'm just going off of the video that I watched. When you heard the people, yo, somebody on the building, and you see the cop just like walking past the building all slow or whatnot. I didn't see him get on his radio. I didn't see him do none of that. And honestly, another thing, I can't believe that Fox News actually brought Dan Bongino back onto the platform, especially with the history given there. But man, I'm just so happy to hear him related information, related facts to us. I haven't had him on the channel in a minute, and this was an excellent interview from beginning to end for sure. So shout out to him, man. But we are, as a country, we definitely deep frying right now, y'all. We getting sauteed and grilled and cooked right now, and all these other countries, they just sitting back and watching it. It's ridiculous out here, bro. It's really ridiculous. The government at this point is done, can't be trusted. We hold back on that when I was going to start talking about Ukraine and all this other stuff. But y'all, at the end of the day, I'm just frustrated that this was allowed to happen. I'm just really frustrated. I really am. And this don't make any sense. Shout out to him for nailing this assessment. And y'all, I don't know what else to say right now. I'm still just kind of taken back, as you can see. And all I can say is, man, we got to keep asking all the right questions. We got to keep asking questions and getting to the bottom of this and figure out what really happened. But I will say that the Secret Service director, he should definitely go ahead and resign. I wouldn't even focus on the color of the ties that the agents were wearing and none of that. I wouldn't focus on the gender, none of that. You know, I wouldn't even focus on. I would just put my focus on making sure that man get up out of there right now, y'all. Let me get up out of here because I'm just talking in circles at this point out of frustration. Be safe, man.